Aloha everybody, Kaiwaza with you, John Charles. Welcome back to my channel and to our video today, which is kind of sort of a response video. I don't know what you call it, tag thing, I don't know. I wasn't actually tagged, but somebody whose channel I did check out, but they really only talk about rock music and stuff, which I'm not really interested in, but they had did a sort of a challenge of 10 female vocalists, best sounding female vocalists in their collection, their opinion. I saw a video done in response to that by Richard Riley, who I follow, and I will link his video below so you can see, that's how I first heard of it, his 10 favorite best sounding female vocalists in his opinion in his collection. I thought, well, I was kind of inspired to do one for my Hawaiian record collection, which you see part of behind you. I have about 2,600 or so Hawaiian albums. Most of them, almost all of them, vintage ones, not anything, you know, in the new wave of vinyl being done. And I decided I'm just going to do top 5, my 5 favorites for brevity's sake, and I will below put the spellings of all the artists, because I am sure y'all are not going to know how to spell these names if you actually go on a search for them, which is understandable. So this is my Hawaiian music collection, and also I want to preface this by saying I am doing just obviously, for me to consider somebody as the best sounding female vocalist in my collection, I'm talking about a body of work. So you have to actually have had a body of work, not just one album or not just singles to be, you know, sort of considered for this. So these are female artists that do have an actual body of, you know, several albums or whatever to take into consideration. And I will start at number 5. And of course, everybody's going to have their own opinion. People in the Hawaiian music field may or may not agree with me and may be surprised at some of my choices and may not be surprised. Whatever, I don't know. It's all a matter of opinion, so don't come after me. It's just my thoughts about, to me, the 5 women that I think are the best sounding, that I just enjoy their recordings the most. Number 5 is Lena Alla Haili. She was a falsetto singer. So falsetto singer, what is falsetto? I'm not going to get all into it, but it's a very big thing in Hawaii in the past and in the present, and very likely into the future as well. A lot of different ideas about how falsetto singing really came to Hawaii, but definitely by the late 1800s, it was a thing. It was definitely happening. Male and female singers singing in falsetto became very much a part of the Hawaiian music repertoire, and a good falsetto voice was and is very valued here in Hawaii. I love falsetto singing also. Amongst my favorite female falsetto singers, Lena Alla Haili. She did, I don't know, 7 or 8 records, something like that. Had quite a nice career, sang at a lot of different nightclubs, different places, and drew crowds there quite a bit. So also something notable about her is she really did focus in all of her recordings almost exclusively on actual native Hawaiian language material. So all of her songs, for the most part, are Hawaiian language, very traditional songs. Interestingly, something I do love about her also is that some of the albums have slack guitar and are very sort of a traditional type of arrangement, and then she has some albums that are of a more, at the time, contemporary instrumental arrangements with, again, falsetto singing and very traditional songs, but sort of a little slightly groovalicious at the time sound, which I think back in the day I didn't really like. Like when I first moved here, I didn't like that kind of music, but over the passage of time, I've become to love it so much. Something that's a little bit lounge, a little bit kitschy, a little bit, I'm into it. I'm here for it. So number 5 for me, Lena Alla Haili. Now the artist at number 4 is part of a famous family. Her mother, Vicky E.E. Rodriguez, had several children. Her children became involved musically, and this lady was one of them, Nina Kealiiwahamana. Don't try and spell that on your own if you don't know Hawaiian, and that'll be down below if you ever want to conduct a search for some of her music. Lovely, lovely lady. Began singing, I think, quite a bit with her sisters. She of three girls, her and her 2 sisters. There are solo albums. Like, she does have several albums, like this one. This is number 2. This is number 1 also, and some other albums. Not a lot, but some albums of her singing solo. And you also will hear her very much. She sang with the Webley Edwards and the Hawaii Calls radio show, which made many, many albums, dozens of albums, and you can hear her featured on many of those albums. She was a regular singer with them and is featured on a lot of them. even if it's just singing the chorus, you can pick out Nina Kealiiwahamana's voice. Such a beautiful voice, so clear, very sweet, almost like a classically trained voice, but still, unlike some Hawaiian singers who were classically trained, I think Nina Kealiiwahamana's voice always maintained a very Hawaiian style, a very Hawaiian feeling to it, to her singing. You can also hear her on several of the Jack DeMello box sets that Jack DeMello did in the 70s. She is featured prominently as a prominent soloist on several of those albums and box sets. So other than just her solo albums, you can hear Nina Kealiiwahamana featured in many other places. You can hear her voice. Lovely, lovely voice.
Aloha. If you enjoy these vintage sounds of the Hawaiian Islands, I'd like to invite you to tune in to the online radio station that features over 2,600 vintage Hawaiian vinyl records. Hawaiian Hi-Fi Radio on Live365.com. There, Mr. Kaiwaza spins all the beautiful selections from his vintage Hawaiian record collection. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, you can tune in and be taken away on a retro island holiday. That's Hawaiian Hi-Fi Radio on Live365.com. Just click on the link below in the description, and it will take you right there. I hope to see you.
Okay, up to artist number 3. Now I will say, when this idea first came to me to do a response to this video with Hawaiian female artists, the top 3 were really easy for me to determine. It was just, 1, 2, 3. Those right off the top of my head, those are my top 3. Very easy. So number 3, we have somebody who's still around. I don't know if she's still recording. I think she's still performing once in a while. She has done recordings, many recordings past the vinyl LP era, which is what I collect. But her first recordings here that I will show you are ones she did as part of a group, but it's just 2 people. I'm talking about Teresa Bright. It's Steve and Teresa was how she started out, with Steve Mai and Teresa Bright. They did a couple of records. Her voice, oh my gosh, mellifluous, very well, I think, positioned to sing jazz also, which she has done. Oh man, I love her voice. It's just as smooth as they come, cool, laid back. I have seen her perform in the past, well, you know, back in the 80s when these albums came out. I saw her performing back then. I remember distinctly going to one of the clubs she was performing at and saying, I mean, she's very cool, but I remember her saying, it was in Waikiki, she is this beautiful big lady with this beautiful hair and the hibiscus, and she just looks like, you know, a poster child for Hawaii. And she's standing there with the ukulele, and she's like, okay, so just so you know, I don't do Blue Hawaii, I don't do Hawaiian Wedding Song, Pearly Shells, Tiny Bubbles, Little Grass Shack. Don't do it. I just remember thinking, okay, well, there goes everything any tourist here wanted to request would have known about. But anyway, very funny lady. And again, now she had they did a cassette together. Oweheami and Slide was a big hit for Steve and Teresa. They split up after that, and then she continued to do many CDs of great Hawaiian music that are out there if you're looking around. She also has done some vinyl. She has a good career in Japan as well. It's quite popular in Japan. So some of her stuff was just recorded in Japan and not available in the United States. And she has done some vinyl releases. So if you like more current, if you're kind of in the market or you do seek out like more current vinyl releases, she has done some stuff more recently than the vinyl records. But you can't go wrong. Love her so much. Teresa Bright. Love it. Number 2, legendary performer, probably the most famous female vocalist ever to come out of Hawaii. For people in Hawaii, I don't know, like around, I know she's known in Japan and she's known in other countries, but I don't know that I would say she's the most famous vocalist, I don't know, to come out of Hawaii in the world. But certainly in Hawaii, legendary performer, and I'm talking about Genoa Keawe. Again, another falsetto singer. She started her career, let's say 40s, 50s. Did her first recordings on 49th State Hawaii Records, did on quite a lot of them. It's a young Genoa Keawe right there. Did a lot of recordings for 49th State Hawaii. Then she eventually went over to Hula Records, recorded quite a few labels with Hula Records. And eventually in 1966, had her own label, GK, Genoa Keawe Records, and recorded some things. Hula, I mean, what she's really known for is hula music, hula dancing music that you would dance hula to. Most frequently, it's presented in a very stylized form, you know, kind of a set way usually, which is that there's no instrumental breaks because it is for dancing hula. And the first, first verse, or whatever, sung by the solo singer, Genoa Keawe, followed by a group of people singing it, and then you go back and forth for every verse. Love the style. I don't know, I did know about Genoa Keawe before I moved to Hawaii because my grandfather in Pennsylvania, who collected Hawaiian records, had a lot of 49th State Hawaii records, and I heard Genoa Keawe. So I was very used to hearing this sort of romanticized steel guitar orchestral music, which I still love to this day. That was sort of easy listening Hawaiian. But I also heard Genoa Keawe, and I knew that was something very authentic. And I was attracted to it. I thought, this is really the sound of Hawaii and hula dancing, you know? She knew thousands, literally thousands of Hawaiian songs, the complete verses in Hawaiian language. Exceedingly unusual for somebody to have that level of fluency and knowledge about songs, to know all the verses to some songs. She was very well known for the song Alika. I don't know that she originated doing this, but there's a part of the song where you can hold a note for quite some time, and she became known for holding that note forever. You know, I don't know her breathing procedure or how she does it or whatever, but she would hold that note like forever. And she became really identified with that song. But what a very long career, and she performed right up until the week before her death. I mean, she was still performing off and on quite a bit, not totally in full voice. A lot of times if you're a falsetto singer, I think at a certain point, sometimes you, later in life, you can kind of lose the ability to really sing that well in falsetto. But yeah, I love her so much. That's my number 2 artist, favorite female artist is Genoa Keawe. Her birthday, by the way, was Halloween. She was kind of well known for that. Genoa Keawe's birthday being Halloween, so her birthday's coming up. And she died, what did I say, 2008 at, I don't know, I don't remember her age off the top of my head when she passed away, but she was quite old, quite old. I'm talking about a woman who had a very deep voice, contralto, often billed as the female baritone on some of her records. I'm talking about the late Haunani Kahale Vai, right here now. Yeah, what a regal lady, what a regal presence. To me, she always, in her pictures and videos that I've seen of her, just gives off a very, like a queen, a royalty, you know, the Hawaiian royalty feeling. Although I understand she's actually was quite, you know, a rascal and quite funny and all of that, but she just did have a regal presence when she wanted to call that up. She recorded with Hawaii Calls, Webley Edwards on the Hawaii Calls radio program. She was on that for many, many years. She is featured again, like Nina Kealiiwahamana, who we talked about earlier. She is featured prominently on many of the records of Hawaii Calls as a soloist in different songs. And then she also did, when Capitol Records was pursuing some Hawaiian music, she was signed with them and recorded several albums on Capitol Records. So excellent, so beautiful. And then she also recorded after that with Decca for a while, Decca Records. So she had national exposure. If you're on the mainland and you go to used record shops or thrift shops, whatever, you know, you might actually run across some Honani Kahale Vai albums if they are out there. And they were distributed quite a bit on the mainland during the 60s, 50s, and 60s. Something I also love about her is that her recordings were always a mix of like a genuine Hawaiian language, serious Hawaiian language songs, and then she also would do, especially on Decca, she would do some sort of playful, hapahali kind of fun songs, but she would also do on all of her albums some really beautiful, very heavily romantic kind of, you know, Moon of the Southern Seas and Tangi Tahiti and songs like that that were just oozing and dripping with exotic romantic feelings. So I that's part of the reason I love her. It's the variety that she performed. The variety of music within each of her albums would have some of all of that. So I really, really loved Haunani Kahale Vai. She moved to San Francisco at some point, considered herself sort of retired, but she actually died quite young. She was in her 50s. I don't recall exactly what happened, but she was rather young when she passed away and left, I think, an absolutely beautiful body of work behind. So my favorite, best sounding female vocalist in my collection, in my opinion, is Haunani Kahale Vai.
Under the blanket of night comes the call of Tahiti and you, soft as an angel's wing. Alisa, Akumea, Ikalele.
I hope you enjoyed that. That was definitely something a little different for female vocalists, for people who are watching those videos. And I'm curious if any of you who are into Hawaiian music or know something about it, I'm curious, you know, who your favorites of the LP era. I mean, there are so many now. Hawaiian music is very much alive and well here in 2023, and there are some amazing female vocalists out there now and people doing great falsetto stuff and whatever, but my collection is the older vinyl stuff. So these are my 5 favorite female vocalists from my collection, my Hawaiian collection. Thanks for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video. I'm going to Miss USA next week in Reno. So no videos next week, unless I blog, but I don't think I'm gonna blog anything there. Anyway, it's a very busy week. Okay, we will see you in the next video after next week.